a loving and devoted father, you might want to help him because his life has been absolutely crushed, hasn't it?
Has it been crushed, or has it been crushed over these emails? Now, when it comes to these emails have been sat on someone's desk for 14 years. And I'm a little bit suspicious about why now. But I don't believe there was anybody in the royal family that didn't know what Andrew Windsor was. And yeah, sorry.
Okay, so you're saying that you would just, that would be it, that would be the line, and that would be the end. Okay, yeah, Ruth, I appreciate the call. Thank you so much. Let's move on to Graham.
At Vanessa Feltz's show, the air buzzed with controversy and caffeine. The topic: Prince Andrew, a subject most would avoid, but not Vanessa. She attempted the unthinkable, spinning sympathy for the embattled Duke. Vanessa's tone softened, focusing on the Queen's love for her son, painting Andrew as isolated and misunderstood. The strategy was clear: shift the conversation from scandal to family loyalty and the pain of a mother. She asked listeners, can we separate the man from the institution? Can we see the anguish behind the headlines? The segment was a masterclass in narrative management, steering away from grim details toward human feeling. Producers lined up calls, expecting gentle agreement, but live radio is unpredictable. Social media was already stirring with skepticism. Sympathy for him? One comment read, "You've got to be joking." The calm in the studio was about to be shattered. Then the call came. Ruth from Manchester, calm and clear, cut through the airwaves. "Good morning, Vanessa. I'm absolutely appalled." Vanessa tried to guide her. "Appalled, Ruth?" "That's a strong word. Why?" Ruth didn't budge. "We're talking about a man who was friends with a convicted paedophile. Serious, credible accusations. And you want us to feel sorry for him because his mother loves him?" The studio fell silent. Ruth pressed on. "What about the victims? Where's their sympathy? You talk about a mother's love, but ignore a victim's pain. It's a disgrace, and it's why people are losing faith in the media and the monarchy." Vanessa's composure cracked. She tried to pivot. "I was talking about the family, the human element." Ruth cut in. "What about the human element for the victims? Where's your segment for them?" The silence was deafening. Ruth had exposed the machinery of public relations and the subtle ways power protects itself. She spoke with raw, unfiltered morality. The segment was in tatters. Vanessa, for once, was speechless. The showdown had begun. Vanessa was stunned, her usual confidence gone. Ruth's words had not just challenged her, they'd exposed the hollowness of the sympathy narrative. The segment flipped from royal sympathy to a trial of the establishment. Ruth continued, "The media wants us to forget. We remember the disastrous interview, the denials, the lack of empathy for victims. He's still protected, still part of the institution. You ask for sympathy? We ask for accountability." Ruth became the prosecutor, the public her jury. Vanessa tried to regain control. "It's a complex situation, Ruth, with legal nuances." But Ruth's emotional truth bulldozed the excuses. Why is he shielded? Why focus on his feelings, not the victims? The producer likely panicked, but for a few seconds, the raw truth hung in the air. Ruth's call shattered the unspoken agreement between media and palace. The public was no longer willing to accept handed-down narratives. The story of Prince Andrew as a misunderstood son was dead. Ruth's call unleashed a digital firestorm. Social media, forums and comment sections erupted in agreement. Finally, someone said it. "Thank you, Ruth from Manchester." The backlash was fierce, raw, and personal. People shared their disgust at being gaslit by the media and monarchy. "They think we're stupid," one user wrote. "Sympathy for a billionaire prince while we can't heat our homes." Another, "This isn't about one man. It's about a corrupt system that protects its own." The volume and intensity were unprecedented. The switchboard jammed with people wanting to echo Ruth. The digital eruption showed ordinary people now have a voice that can rival the establishment. The public was no longer passive, they were shaping the narrative. Their verdict was unanimous and damning. The outrage quickly focused on a glaring hypocrisy. Prince Andrew's treatment versus Harry and Meghan's. One viral tweet. So the prince who served in the army and married for love is a traitor, but the one with a sex offender friend gets sympathy. The double standard was everywhere. Meghan and Harry were vilified for leaving, every move scrutinised. Meanwhile, Andrew, facing serious allegations, was shielded and softened by the media. The message, some sins are forgivable if you're at the heart of the establishment. For many, this was the final straw. It wasn't about liking or disliking royals, it was about fairness. The public saw a system that punished reformers and protected the powerful. Ruth's call gave people permission to say it. The game is rigged. The outrage was about more than Andrew. It was about a rotten framework. One rule for the favoured son, another for the one who dared to leave. The double standard was exposed. The Vanessa Feltz incident exposed more than a double standard. It revealed the machinery of the British establishment. The monarchy, government, and media form a triangle to protect the status quo. Vanessa's sympathy for Andrew was a classic move: control the narrative, shield the crown. The shield works through planted stories, friendly journalists, and appeals to tradition. When Andrew's interview aired, the focus quickly shifted to other royals or scapegoats. The tactic: distract, dilute, and wait for attention to fade. Ruth's call exposed public awareness of these mechanisms. People now see the coordinated attacks and the soft peddling. The poor Andrew narrative was rejected as PR spin. The establishment's power relied on mystique and deference. Now both are fading. In the age of instant information, the shield is full of holes. The on-air showdown proved the establishment can no longer fully control the narrative. This radio moment was more than a controversy. It was a crack in the monarchy's armour. The public's reaction showed a profound shift. Deference is eroding, replaced by demands for transparency and accountability. The old pact, privilege in exchange for unity and stability, is broken. Scandals and moral vacuums have chipped away at goodwill. The monarchy now seems to embody hypocrisy and elitism. The digital age accelerates this change. Secrets are harder to keep, spin is easier to spot. The palace faces a global jury, not just royal correspondents. The monarchy is judged in the court of public opinion, and old excuses no longer work. This isn't just about one prince. It's about a generation that questions inherited status. The public is no longer a passive audience. Ruth's call proved their voice is louder and harder to ignore. The crown's armour is cracking. The Vanessa Feltz showdown will be remembered for what an ordinary citizen dared to say, and how the public roared in agreement. It marked the moment simmering distrust in the monarchy boiled over. The old contract between crown and people is being rewritten. The public wants truth, not fairy tales. Deference is gone, replaced by demands for justice and accountability. The Prince Andrew affair, contrasted with Harry and Meghan's treatment, exposed a wound that won't heal. The monarchy now faces a choice: change radically or become a relic. The public has found its voice and is questioning everything. Ruth's call became a revolutionary act. The public is awake, watching, and unwilling to be told what to think. The era of blind loyalty is over. The age of accountability has begun. The silence from the palace is no longer an option. The public's patience has run out.
To all my amazing and curious Sussex family, thank you all for watching our videos, and do not forget to subscribe, like, and put a comment. Bye bye. See you in our next episode. Bye.